happy Wednesday. Happy New Year. Happy 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. It is a new year, and it's a new month. And so if you've been following me for any amount of time, then you know that every month I either start a new series or I have a new theme for the month or something along those lines. It's a nice way to keep myself organized and to not go too much off the rails, because I always want to go off the rails, right? One thought leads to another, leads to it. You get what I'm saying? Anywho, this month we're going to talk about awareness and practicing this kind of self-awareness that will help us get to new levels of understanding of who we are and how we show up in the world and why. And so in thinking about awareness, I want us to be aware of who we are. And this I've shared many times, and you're just gonna have to deal. I'm gonna share it again. There are approximately 8 billion people on the planet. Even identical twins don't share 100% of their DNA. Which means you are the only one of you that ever has been, ever is, and ever will be. The chance of you being here is 1 in 400 quadrillion. 400 comma 000 comma 000 comma 000 comma 000 comma 000. That's the chance of you being born and being alive today. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Which means if you're the only one of you that ever has been, ever is, and ever will be, and the chance of you being here is so near impossible that it makes you someone who is here on purpose, then who are you? I believe that we are from something greater. Call it universe, call it source, call it God, call it whatever you want. If we have come from that bigger greatness, and we are of that, then we are that. If that bigger greatness, again, whatever you decide to label it or call it, does not matter in this particular moment. What matters is, what do you know it to be? Do you know it to be love? Do you know it to be freedom? Do you know it to be abundance and peace and ease and joy? Then you are of that, which means you are that. And we forget that. When we're born, we know that as babies. Babies and little kids know who they are, okay? And then life happens and we are trained away from our knowing. We are trained away from the awareness that we are of source, universe, God. That we are of greatness. That we are of abundance, health, peace, ease, joy, love. We are of that. And if we are that, do we need to seek that? No, we just need to align with the truth that we are that, and live and operate accordingly, which will then produce more of that, which then allows us to become like a conduit of that, and not just a conduit, but a generator of that, because we do not seek what we are. So if I know that I'm from source, universe, God, and I know that source, universe, God is pure love, then that means that I am love, which means that I have to align with love and remind myself and be more aware and practice the awareness of who I am, so that I can show up with love, think with love, speak with love, act from love for myself and others, and thereby become a walking, living, breathing example of love. And it won't always be perfect, and it's not always foolproof, and it's not 100% of the time, because I also am aware that I am a human having a human experience, which requires me to have the experience of the full gamut of emotions in order to discern and sift through and decide what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to use as feedback, and then surrender and release. And I can do that because I know who I am. I am of source. I am of universe. I am of God, which means I am of infinite intelligence. I am of endless and replenishing abundance. I am of boundless creativity. I am of unconditional love. So if at any point I find myself, I am aware of the fact that I have disconnected, I can get myself realigned to connect back to the source, universe, God, whatever you want to call it, in order to replenish, to recharge, to reboost, so that I can move forward accordingly. Let me tell you something. When I practice that awareness consistently, when I first started this journey, I don't know how many years ago, and then I started really focusing and honing in on that practice. I wrote it down. You know, if you've been following me, you know I like to write things down, especially on postcards. I wrote it down on a little postcard. I kept it with me, and I would pull it out and just remind myself. Anytime I had doubts, anytime I felt anxiety, anytime I felt like pressure or frustration, I would pull it out and like, who am I? Oh, right. I'm becoming more and more aware, reminded of who I am so that I can operate accordingly. And things started to change, not externally at first, internally. Things I found more peace and more ease and more freedom and more joy and more love. I did. And then I became more intentional about manifesting and creating that outside of myself, right? And that doesn't necessarily have to be your journey because everybody's journey looks different, but it always starts here with an awareness of who you are first and foremost. So what do you call your source? And let us practice during the course of this week, reminding ourselves, becoming reacquainted with, practicing the awareness of the fact that we are all of the greatness that we come from, because we have no choice but to be, right? Now we do have a choice. We can practice ourselves away from that, or rather life and the program that we are under has practiced us away from that. But because that's also good news, because if we can practice ourselves away from it, it means we can practice ourselves back. What? No, it's not that crazy, but it is, right? This is kind of woo-woo for some of y'all. I know. That's okay. Then it's not for you, because I can't be all things for all people, but this needed to be shared. So if you found some benefit in this, I'm so happy. If you know someone who can benefit from it, share it. If not, that's okay too, right? If you have any questions, let me know. We're going to keep unpacking awareness and perspective during the course of this month. And I will see you next week. I'm sending you love and light, and there's nothing you could do about it. It's coming at you. Bam!